Wow, Phil, yes, I should be laying down when you tell these things. It does take a while, and actually, how you explain it's very, very well. It's very, very good how you articulate this and explain it. And there's a lot being said in it. Again, you have to learn to see it and have the intent for it. Now, just for a moment here, let's look at your intent with your life, okay? Just look at your intent. Now, you're very good at this, Phil, and you're able to understand, see, and experience portals on the real side in your dreams, in your so-called dreams, and that's huge, because that's other dimensions within creation itself, and you're already in another dimension, but now there are other portals there, so that's really huge. You and Eric, have exceptional experiences. You have, you're able to do things that most people aren't, okay, that want to do, but you're just doing them.
Thank you.
Yeah, very real, okay? I'm for everybody. In other words, life is about becoming more aware. You really want to understand that. It's not about collecting knowledge and information and all that stuff. All that stuff that you've created, that you've collected and has been created for you to so-called understand knowledge and whatever, they're references to something. It cannot be a reality. When you say the word sandwich, as an example, bologna sandwich, and you say that, and you have that idea, and then on your plate is a bologna sandwich, is there a difference between the idea and the actual bologna sandwich? Yes, there is. And, when you say television, oh, I want to watch television. Well, and then you go over, and if it's in that room or the next room, and you go over to the television, and there's the television. Is there a difference between the idea and the actuality? But you'll notice how you shove it all together. And there's a difference. Do you see the difference? Okay? So there's differences that are going on. And so you are noticing these differences, etc. And I would say the old guy in the dream, just as one, we'll just kind of move around on this experience of yours. Remember the other experiences you had where you were like in the warehouse and you were moving towards that old guy, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so here's this old guy again, and you've had him in other experiences, like you had the turtle, like you had this fuzzy, wolfy, lion, whatever creature in your experience too. That, I see that as the Kalam God. See, he's making judgment. And in this judgment, it's interesting, this woman, she has a calf as her child, like a baby cow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, the religious paths are called calf paths to the mind. And so this lady is in love with her religion, okay? Is what it is. Now I'm going to give you some hints through this. And remember the hole on the road. See, when you got in that car, you're being taken on an experience. Someone else was driving, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. See, you were being driven along by one of the guides, okay? And it's showing you kind of, your road along. And then all of a sudden, you've gone through some stuff, whatever. But all of a sudden you come to this hole that's as, big as a baseball. It's no big thing. When you look at it, in the physical sense, comparatively, size-wise, well, it's like, gee, you're sitting there discussing, get out of the car, you discuss this hole, and it's really nothing. But that's because that little hole is a whole lot more than you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And then someone goes off the road into the darkness and then comes back with some grass, green grass, and starts handing it out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a song. It's an old song. It's called Born Free. Have you ever heard of it? Born
Yes.
free as the grass grows. Get the idea?
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting that.
So again, the grass is a hint and it fills up the hole. You're filling up the hole so you can get around the hole. And so again, there's the reference to that. As you get around that hole, you become a little freer, you see? So again, paying attention to these things and knowing. Now, see, I've got more of a broad history of references, but you guys have your own references. Okay, and it will use what you know. Life and the guides know. They look at your file. They know your intent. They see what you're into, and they will use certain references that you're familiar with to give you hints, because this is how you've been brought through your lifetimes, so that you are able, because you are a particular view. Each one of us is a view in life. We are our own unique view, and we come through whatever experiences basically we need to have that view recognized, realized, and recognized. It's just very real. We're just a view. And that view adds to the overall of what all life is, because all life is awareness. It's just awesome how it is. You can't even consider it, but it is so awesome. Creation's awesome. I look at all creation. I'm amazed. It's just amazing. I'm like a little kid. It's all awesome. I don't take it for granted. Every little thing is awesome. Yeah. And so you're seeing as you're going along on this journey. Yeah. And there's the big judgment. All of a sudden, you're in a future view, etc. So again, and at some point, everybody's looking to you, because all these characters here are parts of yourself. You see, and so that's why the so-called judge, who was fake, wasn't really. There's no such thing as judges anyhow, but that's like the Lord of Karma. That's like the Lords of Karma on the causal realm, the third realm, but whatever. Okay, so playing this game, and that's why he said that I want everyone in here. In other words, he wants all the parts of yourself, but you've got the old man, he falls out of the car or whatever, etc. And in other words, things happen. In other words, you don't really have all of yourself together yet, because it takes a lot, and to recognize the different parts of yourself. Look at your life. Who's the old man? Is it the lazy guy that kind of doesn't know what he's doing? Is that the lazy part of yourself that's not paying attention or whatever? So if he's sitting in the back of the bed and you take off, he rolls out because he's not paying attention. See, so that's parts of yourself to where you're not paying attention. And that's okay. Yeah, and it's like little kids, just we're little kids at this. Life is big. It really is. But it's giving you all the hints. You see? And the woman with the calf, she's more or less, in a way, it's part of you, but at the same time, it's an objective view. Showing you, okay, the infatuation, and everybody's cheering. It's like, oh, she got the judgment. Well, the Kalam God, the Lords of Karma, they're more than happy to give the judgment as to this person wanting their so-called religious belief, etc., which the calf represents. And you'll notice in the Bible and whatever, it's always something's referred to like the golden calf and things like this. You see? Yeah, because this is all reptilian religion. You have to understand that. Look at yourself. Look at anybody. We've all been raised with ideas that we've been told, right? We just didn't figure it out as we came in. We were told things. You were told about, Sunday school and God and religion, Jesus, all these things, these people, and some people get more wrapped up in others. Others say, no, the heck with it, I don't want nothing to do with it. Okay, because you've done it before, whatever. Okay, you've heard it for lifetimes, because people have been looking for Jesus for thousands of years. And so you've heard all these things for lifetimes. And so this is drummed into you. And so people, and they'll say, oh, gee, this is so familiar. I really like it, etc. So again, did we, as we came in here, decide this? No. We were indoctrinated with what we're deciding. Everything you're deciding, basically, you've been indoctrinated with. The video games you play, you've been marketed to play those video games, you see? Because until you recognize what's real, you're going to be chasing thrills. And that's basically it. It's like, oh, let's go have fun. Let's go play. Let's go do this. Well, sure, that's part of it. But pretty soon the whole lifestyle becomes that. And you have to get a job and work or whatever most people do. But what do they earn money for? So they can play, right? On the weekends, thank God it's Friday and all these things like that, etc., that have been set up, that we've set up. Because we've been indoctrinated, we've been seduced to do what the system tells us, to agree with the system, to agree to support the system, to agree to work for the system, to agree to be abused by the system. We've all agreed to all that. But it seems like, well, this is how it is, and it's all okay, so, life is hard, whatever. Well, this is not life. It's a it's a simulator we're in. We're simulating things, we're creating things, etc. But again, in your experience, I'm listening to it on and on. Yeah, and you're in the vehicle and you're packed in there like sardines. Well, that's because all of this stuff you're carrying and you're wearing. And so little by little, you will start to recognize these are your creations. Okay? Yeah. And you are the decider. See, you know that now. See, we've been raised to think that someone else decides for us. Our parents, our teachers, the police, the government, and then the gods and the saviors and whatever, the angels. They're to decide for us. We look to them to get a decision, right? And do we decide? Not really. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I definitely need to ponder on that for a bit more. But yeah, I think I understand you.
Yeah. Yeah. See, because again, you have the challenge, and I see it. And when I went through all my stuff, I didn't see it in those days of spiritual paths and that I went through and had to go through to be babysat for that time. But I see it now, and that is that I didn't realize totally that I was the decider, but we are. We've decided everything, and we really are. And any authority that is so-called, that has been created or self-created or self-proclaimed or even exists, is a fallacy. There's no such thing. Like the air you breathe, the sun shining, that's how life is. Life is, what's so cool about it, it's not that it's just that where you're breathing air or you see the sun shining. No. There is an awareness, recognition that is so much more real than anything here. But you have to recognize it. And in the meantime, you're going through all this experience, and little by little, you will get little wake ups to become more aware. See, not just the label of, oh, I joined the church, Jesus saved me, or, oh, I joined the spiritual path, I'm getting my initiations, I'm spiritual. You see? And that's it right there. An encasement. You've just encased yourself, I'm spiritual. No. I've learned to recognize that it's about becoming more aware, and it's endless. You see, that makes sense. It's not that, oh, here's the stamp, boing, this is it, you made it, you got here. No. It's an endlessness to be recognized, for what it is, because it already is. This is the isness life is. That's the best you can describe it. It is. And again, the old saying was, all life is one. But people didn't get that because they're considering and thinking in the terms of their literal self, and that creation is life. And that, oh, you're on earth and you're going through this and suffering and whatever, and God will, if you're good, God will grant you a place in the heavens and everything will be good. Well, no, you're still in creation. You're just going to some other dimension. And for sure you'll be back. This is the game that the fake gods, play. All gods are self-appointed. They decided, oh, I'm God. Just like the old kings. They were just regular people struggling on the earth. And then they just had the idea, well, let's try something else. Let's get a bunch of our buddies together, have some competitions. Let's see who wins, king of the hill, whatever. We play that game. Got a mountain of sand, see who can push you off, etc. And pretty soon you decided, you know what, I'm king. No, you guys are my soldiers. And then let's just go take over. And all the land that I see is mine. There you go. Now you see how it started. And so again, the real guides have brought, this information and these references in certain ways through history. And what has happened is that certain individuals, like Count God and others, etc., the reptilians, they decided to infiltrate, utilize that material because they weren't smart enough to create it on their own. So what they do is they take it from others, etc. Just like when Tesla invented wireless and all that he did, well, the Blackhearts stole everything that he did. That's what they do. That's why they created the U.S. Patent Office, because it wasn't to help people and protect their patents. It was to steal what they created. That's how. And that's how the Rothschilds got all their money in the Secret Service. I talked to people, I knew people that worked in the Rothschilds Bank, and I saw and they told me, how they stole all their money. That's how the Rothschilds became the richest in the world, because they didn't work 9 to 5. They stole everything from everybody. They tricked them into giving them their money, and they did. They did some really good tricks. And this is how the self-appointed gods, especially the Kalam God, who is the so-called Lord God in the Bible, has tricked people into, getting them to think on their own that he is a god. You see? And so utilizes certain writings and whatever, etc. Gets people, and even if it's under the acts of fear, gets them to proclaim this, write doctrines, etc. And pretty soon you have all these systems all over the world. It just starts to spread. Okay? And they're all fear-based, just like the governments. It's all fear-based. Doesn't make any sense. But now you have the opportunity to become more aware and surpass it. So just like that hole in the road, the smallest thing can trip you up. But it takes a while to understand this. Now, the guidance is there. You're on this road, you're having these experiences, you're seeing what's going on, etc. And now all of a sudden you recognize this judge. Does it make sense? Is this guy a knucklehead or what? You want to see, the whole thing was an opera. It was a performance for you to see what you would recognize from it. So I helped you out there a whole lot. You decide if it means anything to you at all. So,
Okay.
yeah. See, it's your life. You're going to be living it, and you're going to be going where you're going because you're the decider. That's real. And you're seeing the future also. Okay, so maybe you'll be in a future lifetime and the city will be futuristic, but it's going to be the same mishmash as it is now. It's going to be nowhere.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're getting these huge hits. Very good. Really, I'm not exaggerating because I've done this over 50, 60 years, and I've heard so many people's stories, and very few have exceptional experience, and I've met people that do. And usually they don't take advantage of it. They just kind of let it go. I've been with the best seers, whatever, and you know what? They didn't see it. Awesome experiences. They didn't see it because they weren't objective about themselves. So in this experience, you're getting an objective view. Okay? Yeah. And in the courtroom, when everyone's applauding, nothing was won. That's a fallacy too. Nothing.
Yeah. I felt displaced as if nothing was real at that point.
Right, exactly. You had gone through the scene, etc., and just like what you were explaining, and whatever was said, again, life makes sense. It really does. Just like you breathe the air, and this is in the simulator. Even the simulator, realistically, the natural cause and effect of it makes sense for what it is, for the purpose it was created for, you see? So the isness all life is has provided, not really created, but all of a sudden manifest, provided creation for us to go through this process. And in the meantime, there are certain individuals that decided to take over and proclaim themselves as, I'm God, I created creation. Do you see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, anybody can do that. You can do it. You can go up and down the street and tell people, and you'll get some that will agree with you. It's like, wow, Phil created creation. Yeah. It's not the God you're praying to. It's me, Phil. I'm the God. Now, if you're really motivated to do that, and many people have, all of a sudden, years later, they got this huge following. You could do that. See? No big deal. But it will go nowhere. Just like the Callan God net, because it's not about that. Creation is a process, and these individuals, because they don't at this time have the courage to take the risk, so it's easier for them to manipulate others. And so they will get others, and they can see, certain people can see how easy it is to convince others to agree to something. Now you're worshiping, you're praying, you got ceremonies, even sacrifices. All religion is sacrificial. That's where the word sacred came in. It comes from sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Holy comes from taplining holes in your aura. Divine, that's the old saying, oh, he's dying on the vine. Divine. All of these things have their extensions to them, and they're twisted just a little bit, but they're used like sincere. You see? Okay, so we're thinking that, oh, when you're sincere, you're truly honorable or whatever. I changed it to sincere. Sincere, S-U-N-S-E-E-R, sincere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. And that's honorable, where sincere has the word sin in it, right in the beginning. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Look at the words. Demonstrate. Demon is in the front of it. Oh, let's have a demonstration of that. You see, look at the words. They're right in front of everybody. They're subliminal tap lining. When you recognize them, it's fine. Yeah, see, I use alternate words, and I don't use demonstration. I've used it, but I replace it with other words like showing, sharing, helping, you see, seeing, whatever, but not the word demonstration. I don't really like that.
I thought the devil was like a good guy, though. You said that last week.
Those that think that he's the devil, I couldn't remember his name. That's Lucifer. There's even a...
Oh, that's the guy.
Yeah, I wrote it down for you, Lucifer. I couldn't
Lucifer
remember.
was referred to as the light bringer. If anything, they freed humanity from the shackles of slavery.
Well, Lucifer is a real person, but he's not the devil. But see, the
But he's
Callan
reptilian like me?
that call him God and all that has labeled, and others have labeled him to be the bad guy because he's actually a good guy. This is where you
Yeah.
have good, bad, but he's actually a good guy, but he's been labeled bad because he is a good guy, and the bad people want to label him bad so that others think, others that he's fooled, like the priests and all that out there that fool people. They want him to think that the good people are bad, but
Well,
that they're
yeah, because they all refer to the Great Deception, but the reality is the Great Deception is the Bible itself.
right. That's right. It's all deception. It was written, and that's the intent of the Bible, is to deceive others.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But they
yeah.
say in the Bible, look for wolves in sheep's clothing and beware and whatever. See, what they do is they always point the finger at somebody else.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not us. We're the good guys. It's somebody else. Look for somebody else. So people's attention is somewhere else instead of right in front of them.
yeah. The wolf in sheep clothing is the church.
Exactly. Exactly. And you can see it. And it's right there. You see it. And even their gargoyles and all their stuff and what they do and how they castrate people and all the stuff they've done. And you look at the history of the church, the Borgias, etc., with the Pope and all that. Nothing but bastards. They had, they had prostitute parties. They killed people. They're the pedophiles of the world. They've been condemned so many times in the United States and around the world, but people hide all that stuff. It's even in the news, but then it's forgotten. But yeah, they're the real bastards. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Vatican and all that, totally evil.
Oh yeah, they are.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but people still worship and pray, even though they this or that, but they have nothing else. But now you do. Now you can make sense of it, and your dream visions. That's your intuitive senses to start opening yourself up, to start to recognize where you're at, what's going on, and so you can get through it. And you have real guidance. It's showing it and you decide. It's all about your intent. If you intend to become more aware and a real person and to step up and be with what life is. Yeah, but it's a big journey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a big journey, but you kids are having the experiences, and a lot of them are gonna seem bizarre and weird and whatever. Oh yeah, that's how it is, because that's how creation is now. It is so screwed up. There's so much deception and darkness, and things are just so weird. Look at the computers and cyberspace and all this stuff. Where does, I'm looking at my monitor here. Compare this to the outside and the trees and the birds and the sky and whatever. Look at the difference. What a piece of junk. We don't need this
I
crap.
think you might have a bad monitor, bro. There are like 4K ones now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the technology can be utilized, but it's not the technology we're using, the monitors, whatever. I have a good monitor. I have a 32-inch. That's not what I'm saying.
Is it 1080p?
The technology is, it is not really helpful. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
This is not helpful technology. It's a bunch of friggin' junk. And so, but you're so used to it that you think, wow, this is a great thing. But no, it is totally subduing you. Totally, if you don't get through it. And most people won't. And to recognize it. Now, I just deal with it. I'm not in agreement with it. I just deal with it, etc. But, I could toss it at any moment because they don't need technology of any kind. Just like the birds. They don't need computers. They don't need cell phones. They don't need cars. They don't need any of this stuff. No, you don't need any of this stuff. It's just that you've been taught and indoctrinated to think that you do. That's your thinking.
I have a solution.
Yeah, that's
Hear
your
me out.
thinking. Yeah.
Hear me out. You said the birds don't need cars, and I fully believe you, because it's true. So what if we also didn't need cars? What if we were to grow wings so that we could fly places instead of having to drive?
Let me explain something. From right where you are, and when you are all aware, okay, all aware, why would you need to fly anywhere? There's the difference, honey.
I don't get it.
I know. You see, in time and space, there is what you experience as motion from here to there. But when you're over there, you're still here. You see? See, it's about awareness. And so when you have the awareness, you don't need wings and all that. See, that's again part of the opera that they want you to consider that, oh gee, you can be an angel, you can have wings, you can fly. See,
I
in
was
other
thinking
words,
more like bat.
so in other words, the
Bird.
idea is to get you to keep chasing thrills so that you're confused. That's the idea. Instead of becoming more aware, where you don't even need that, to where you're freer and more real than the birds that do have wings.
So do the birds need wings?
In the physical sense, well, no, they don't. And you can see them walking around,
Okay.
so they use their wings whenever, but they just happen to have wings, etc. So it's not about that. Again, life is awareness. It's not about bodies, cars, airplanes, wings, whatever. It's not about that. It's about awareness. And you went through these lifetimes where you were a bird once, you were many birds, cats, dogs, animals, until you decided to become a human and go through all this torture and nonsense to this very point here. But no,
Should have
life's
stayed as a bird.
well, you've progressed through these body types because the real you wants to get to the point where it can recognize what's real. It knows that inherently, but it doesn't know what it is until it recognizes it, etc. So when you have the awareness, like the real guides, you don't need wings, okay? But you will still have the experiences like in your dreams, lucid dreaming, astral projection, whatever. Okay, you can have these experiences. And those are thrills, but that's not it still. And that's where a lot of people get caught up in these ideas, and then they forget to continue on to become more aware instead, because that surpasses everything. Everything that you can consider becoming more aware and real with all life surpasses all of it, but you're not going to see it or know it until you learn to start recognizing it, and that's a huge journey. That's a lot. That's going to take you some time. Look what you've come to know at the age you are now. And how long did it take you? It took you that amount of time as you are now to get here, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is. It's all right in front of you. You have all the answers. But you need to take it a step at a time so that you have time to recognize it and assimilate it, like anything. So it's just like going to school. The teacher could give you the books for the whole year and you could read them in one night, but very few people will comprehend that. So it's kind of stretched out so you have time to, assimilate all that, etc. Everything takes time, like a tree growing. It takes time. Doesn't matter how much water you give it. It's not going to grow really any faster. If anything, you'll drown it. Yeah. So that's how it is. But now you found something that makes sense. And now you're seeing what, little by little, what creation really is. It's not what you thought it was or what you've been told. Not at all. And there's a lot more. Yeah, you're just starting out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, kids, it's an hour and a half. I'll see you next week.
All right. Well, you take care, Duane. I appreciate your time again.
Good. Yeah, no, that was good, Phil. That's good for you. You someday you're going to write books and articulate
I'm
this
also
very.
gonna write books.
Yeah,
Just saying.
yeah, yeah. It's very good how you articulate this. You guys stick together, help each other out, because you're having the experiences. They're showing you, they're giving you the hints to something else that's so much better that you can't even consider. And it's going to take a while to really grasp it, but you got to keep going. That's up to
Gotta
you.
firmly grasp it in your hand.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
just more than that. Yeah. Okay. See you next time, kids. All right.
Take care. Have a good night.
See you, Duane. Thanks for being a super dude.
Yeah. Thank you. No, it's good to know you, kids. See you next time. Bye bye. Dinu.
See you next time.
Good
What does that mean? I
news.
still don't know.
Do you?
Someone
Little
please tell me
you
what the new to do means.